Welcome to this video about devonfw-ide, the automated IDE solution. In this part 1, I will give you a general introduction. So why do you need this? Of course, to build great software, you need great tools like Java, Maven, Node.js, Angular CLI, Eclipse, Visual Studio Code, or whatever. However, to manually set up all these kind of tools for your project is wasting a lot of time, it's boring and error prone. You know, these kind of guides that give you a step-by-step instruction how to set up things. It's very tedious to go through all this, it's very boring. I guess you've seen all this kind of stuff. And you easily make something wrong and end up with errors. So here comes devonfw-ide, which brings you great benefits. First, it will set up the IDE installation fully automated. And it's completely flexible. You can use it for multiple projects on your same machine. And you can have multiple workspaces within each IDE installation. Third, it's completely configurable, and also it is scalable. You can use it from a team with just one person up to hundreds of people and deliver changes to the IDE and the tools and their versions throughout the entire lifecycle of the project with just a few clicks. It's platform agnostic and has tested and proven to work on Windows, macOS, and Linux. And finally, it completely rocks. You will love it. So, let me give you a live demo. Simply go to devonfw.com and on our website, you just click on download. Here you click on download again. And that's it. So here we have a relatively blank machine. As you can see, lots of tools are not installed. So this is why we downloaded devonfw-ide here. First of all, there are some prerequisites for devonfw-ide that you can find on the website. You have to have an extraction tool where we recommend 7-zip for Windows, and you also need Git that we assume every developer wants to have. So you haven't already installed these tools on your machine, just go to the website, click the links and follow the installation. Here we have already prepared this, as you can see here. So now we are going to create a new folder for our projects. And here inside we will create a subfolder for our first project that we call demo. And we put the downloaded file here and extract this. Now everything should just look like this, and that's all you need to run the setup. This is the fully automated process that we talked about. It will first ask you one question, which is the settings URL. If you are a member of a regular devonfw-ide project, somebody will tell you this URL. If you just want to try devonfw-ide, you can simply press return and get all the defaults here. So now the installation will proceed. However, you first have to accept the terms of use that you can read here. Probably one of the most expensive parts of this open source project. As you can see, everything is free and you have to accept these licenses. If you have studied the guide with all the licenses, you can decide to accept them with yes and proceed. Now you can step back and let the installation proceed. That will fully automate, as you can see. It will also pop up some windows, so please be patient not to close them and interfere with the installation process. You might also have just a cup of coffee here and relax. But it's not gonna take that long. These are the pop-ups I was talking about. It's now installing several plugins inside the Eclipse for you. So you also get the plugins you need for your projects. If you want to understand more about the settings URL and how you can configure the Devon IDE to your particular needs of your projects, you can watch the second video, which is explaining the details about that. If you just are a regular developer and user of Devon IDE, you don't have to care about this and just get your settings URL from your project lead. While the installation is taking place, everything is happening isolated. So you see in our demo project, we now have a subfolder software, and this is where the software is downloaded. That means everything is fully isolated and doesn't interfere with the rest of your system. So you get a particular version of Maven, Eclipse, Java, and stuff like that for your project. And you can have multiple different Devon IDE projects with different settings URLs and therefore different configurations and versions of the tools that can go side by side. This will allow you to have these different projects where one might use a very old version of several tools, while another one uses quite new tools, and still everything will work as expected and designed for the project. Okay, installation process should be almost completed. Some last steps to go. Now it's already installing Visual Studio Code. And again, some plugins. Here we also get client stack with Node.js and NPM and Angular CLI. If you don't need that for your project, all this can be configured in the settings URLs. Technically, the settings URL is just the Git repository URL, and this will go to this folder, which is just the cloned Git repository and containing several configurations. So some more minutes to go, but we are almost done here. Okay, that's it. Now we are ready to go. What we now can see is we got created a new Eclipse main bar that allows us to run Eclipse, and we also have the same for Visual Studio Code. First of all, I can show you the context menu has been extended, so we now find some commands here to run a Devon command shell or PowerShell here, which will configure our environment. So now we have Maven here, and as you can see, it's using Maven from the software folder in demo. also the same for our Java installation in demo software. So if we have another project besides demo that would use a different version of Maven properly or a different version of Java just as configured. With this devon command, we can set up our environment variables wherever we are. It has a built-in help. So as we can see here, it will list all the commands available for our devon CLI tool. So for instance, with devon eclipse, we can launch our Eclipse, but it's also available with this eclipse main command. And so we are now launching our Eclipse. And this Eclipse is already pre-configured for you and contains the code style, the compiler settings, and all the things already for you in place. According to your settings URL, you will already have your projects pre-configured and installed into your workspace automatically, which is not in place for the default settings URL. So now you're ready to code. Have fun with devon IDE. Bye bye.